Maybe I was just pushing that router too hard. They only have 4 bars. Maybe I was trying to use too much signal between streaming and monitoring. Yeah, I'd ready to catch a fish. This stream has been going on 2 hours. I haven't got a bite yet. But we're just now getting into prime time. I've got a little 10-foot plastic boat. It's a Pelican Scorpio. I thought once or twice I should bring it down here because it'd be perfect for this lake. I'm not brave enough to take it out in a big lake. But a 6'2", 270-pound man don't have a whole lot of room in a 10-foot boat. Sonia and I are building a house in Bullitt County. And if you'd asked me in December, I would have told you we'd have been moved in by now. But we're just going to dig the footers next week. But once we get this house built, I'm buying a boat. I want like a 18-foot aluminum boat. And I'll put a jet outboard on it so I can run real shallow. Then I can float like the Green River and chase musky, and I can float below Cave Run Lake. I think that's the Licking River. But an 18-foot boat, I'd have room to set up my cameras, and I want to live stream from the boat. But I know I can't live stream from the 10-foot boat. There's barely room for me and a tackle box. Well, I've gained 4 subscribers during this live stream, even with that poor of a quality. I had 5,147 before I left the house. I have 5,151 now. That's pretty sweet. Oh, if you're thinking about starting a fishing channel, don't expect to get rich. My estimated revenue for the last 28 days is $13.13. Yeah, Donald, I tell people I'm living the dream, but I actually mean it. Shut that phone back down so it don't interfere with the live stream. I'm semi-retired. I've been a real estate broker for 36 years, and I do not intend to stick around for 37. The fishing app says it's only a 44% day. This stream has been going on 2 hours and 19 minutes, but I only started streaming this spring. I've only done about 5 or 6 live streams total. My best one was from Taylorsville Lake tailwaters. I streamed like 4 hours, and I think at one time I had 151 people watching. But I think Taylorsville Lake is a much bigger lake. I think it's a much more popular location than what Guist Creek is. My favorite place to fish is the tailwaters of Green River Reservoir in Campbellsville, Kentucky. I thought about going down there, but I had a lot of stuff to do this morning. Then I ate lunch and fell asleep in my chair, so I decided it was too late to head that far. I found a new place to fish, but it's 3 hours away. It's Oakdale Dam, just outside of Monticello, Indiana. I've got about a 3-minute video about it on my channel. I think that might be a really good walleye location. I was up there, it was the middle of the day, and usually walleye don't bite very good in the day. And I saw 2 different people catch walleye while I was there. Now here, a walleye or a saugeye, either one, has to be 14 inches to keep. But up there in northern Indiana, they have to be 16 inches. '71's a pretty good run, Donald. I never thought I'd make it to 65. I'll be 65 in March. The house building videos are on a different channel. They're on Andy-Sparks. I was putting them on this channel, but it turns out that's a really bad idea to put fishing stuff and house building stuff on the same channel. Because you get subscribers that's interested in the house, and you got subscribers that's interested in the fishing. So you only get half the views. Because people interested in the house are not going to watch the fishing videos, and the people interested in the fishing are not going to pay much attention to the house building videos. I think my Andy-Sparks channel has 2 subscribers. And I'm pretty sure one of them is Sonia. I might be the other one, I don't know. I know it's a lot more comfortable since the shade came over. I like live streaming. I always went fishing alone. Now I got people with me. But when you're a real estate broker, you basically have to work when other people are off. So I would just go fishing. When I had a chance, I would just go. And that's not very conducive to planning and going with other people. But sure as you load up to go fishing, the phone rings and you got to go show a house. And we talked to some people about a listing. It's kind of funny. I've kind of been on cruise control the last few years. I haven't done that much real estate. I haven't really cared. I'll retire in October, and right now I'm busier than I've been in years. We went to Hawaii last year. Didn't have any action the whole week, 2 weeks before. I get to Hawaii and the phone starts ringing off the hook. Shiner's swim in close to the bank, so let's pass these back out. Swim over my other line also. Got a giant moss monster. That's pretty attractive. I guess I get hungry, I can always make a salad. Giant moss monster on the other line. Man, what a mess. Okay, got them separated. This batch of moss is pretty tenacious. Trying to get you straightened out here. Getting there. Sonya must be home. I don't know if you heard that chime, but that's the Ring doorbell. Sonya's mom is in the hospital right now. She is not doing very well. That's good enough. Close enough. A 22.5-inch brook trout is a monster. That is well worth getting mounted. That is a fish of a lifetime. There's a surprisingly good spot to fish for trout in Kentucky. Uh, Cumberland Lake, the Wolf Creek Dam, down below it, that's where Kentucky has their hatchery that raises trout. And you fish down below that dam. They also got one, what they call Hatchery Creek. This is the outflow of the hatchery. And they have it set up like a trout stream. There's like bog areas of it, and there's part that's riffles, and there's parts that's deeper. And of course, they release trout from the hatchery that are, decent sized trout, eating sized trout. But you get down in the lower part of that, closer to the river, there's some big trout come up out of the river to spawn. The Wolf Creek Dam is a hydroelectric dam, and the water comes off the bottom of that lake. It stays cold year round, so the trout do really well there. They stock trout in the wintertime. They stock trout all around Louisville and all over the state of Kentucky. They have a program they call FINS, F-I-N-S, which is fishing in neighborhoods. And all winter they stock trout in small lakes in the parks and the tailwaters and Floyd's Fork, which is a creek that runs through Louisville. I think they stock them in the tailwaters of Taylorsville Lake. But they stock them all over the state, and they stock them eating size. So in the Fins lakes, there's no size limit, and you can keep 5. I mean, they put them in there with the express purpose of you catching them and taking them home and eating them. because they don't survive through the summer. The water's too warm. Hi, Betsy. I want to start fishing below the Wolf Creek Dam more because they have sturgeon. I'm getting old. I can't always pull up the word I want when I want it. But they've been restocking and reintroducing sturgeon to that watershed in the lake. I know they put them up in Cumberland Lake, but that lake's so big you would need a boat and a fish finder. You'd have to hunt a long time to find them up in there. I've never caught a sturgeon. I got it in my head I'd like to catch one. But it takes me like 3.5 hours to get down to Wolf Creek Dam. But if I ever get my boat with the jet engine like I want, the jet outboard, it's perfect for the Cumberland River. But my two favorite to fish for is musky and walleye. My personal best muskie is 48 inches. I caught it down at the tailwaters of Green River Reservoir. I really want a 50-inch fish. That's my goal. 6 people watching, 11 likes. Thank you very much. I've been fishing up in the UP like twice. I forget what the name of the chain of the lakes. There's a chain of lakes up there in the UP, and I went up there and stayed 2 or 3 nights and went out with a guide, but didn't catch a muskie. Then I went on up into Wisconsin, almost to Canada. Went out with a guide and caught a muskie on a fly rod. It was just a small one. It was like 30 inches. That's the only muskie I ever caught on a fly rod. And I've tried for years. That was 2018. I tried for like 4 or 5 years. Still, I started getting more interested in YouTube, and I switched back to conventional gear so I have a better shot of actually catching a fish, so people can see it. Musky fishing will ruin you for other fish. I mean, they're incredibly hard to catch. You, well, there's an episode of River Monsters where Jeremy Wade is trying to catch a muskie, and he fishes every day, like 10 or 12 hours a day for a week or two. And he has one follow. A muskie will swim right up to the boat or right up to the bank, follow your lure right up to where you can see it, look up at you and laugh at you, and then swim away. He finally caught a muskie at the very end of the show, which of course that's when they always catch the big one, at the very end of the show. But he put a little minnow on a jig and was just trying to catch a lake trout or something because he'd been a week or two without catching a fish. And that's when he caught a muskie. He caught it on like 6-pound test line. No leader, no nothing. The biggest muskie I ever saw in person, a guy caught while he was crappie fishing. It was 51.5 inches long. That was a big fish. But see, my 48-inch one, it was probably maybe that big around. But that 50-inch one, man, it was bigger around than my thigh. That was a big fish. I wish he'd have caught and released it, but he killed it. But that gets kind of frustrating. You're using the big musky lures and casting and not doing any good. And then here comes a guy down the bank dragging a 51-inch fish that's too heavy for him to lift that he caught on a crappie jig. But that is musky fishing in a nutshell. That's just how it is. Hey, Dark Shadow. I usually use a fly rod or a little spinner bait. I actually have one. I actually have one hooked up on this pole. I think this one is a MEPS. But see, it's only, I don't know, 2.5 inches long maybe. I like MEPS spinners, but I really like Panther Martin. You see how that blade's hooked on there? Let me hold it steady so you can see. You see how that blade's on there with a shackle? A Panther Martin, the blade, the shank actually goes through the blade, and they always spin. Like a rooster tail, I have a lot of times you'll cast a rooster tail and you have to jerk on it and fight it to get it spinning. And if you try to retrieve it too slow, it'll quit spinning. MEPS are pretty good about staying spinning. But them Panther Martins, it don't matter how slow you fish them. Or how fast. They always. I'm fishing with nice big shiners, but I'm not having much luck. Donald, you ought to think about next winter when everything's froze up in Michigan. You should road trip down there to Hatchery Creek. There's actually a little motel down there, one of them old school where you park in front of the door. There's one right down there within walking distance of the river. I think it's on Airbnb. I don't think it's got like a manager that sits in the office. I think you rent it Airbnb. But down there you can trout fish year round. I've just about drank this gallon of water since I've been live streaming. Feels good now, man. It was hot when that sun was out. Got a bunch of salad on the bait caster also. Well, that shiner is gone. I was reeling it in to put some chicken liver on it anyways. I keep my chicken livers on the hook with the egg loop knot. It's like a snell. It's like a backwards snell. Instead of the line coming out here, it comes off the bottom and it makes this loop. And so I'll hook the chicken liver on there and then put this loop around the chicken liver. And that holds it on there pretty good. that loop gets around that chicken liver pretty good. Nope, that piece flopped out. I probably better put that piece in, tuck it in under there. There we go. That's a nice big chicken liver bait. Okay, catfish, come on. This is where the hand sanitizer comes in handy. I used to didn't bring it with me, but then I got to thinking I handle chicken livers and then hold on to my cigar, liable to give myself salmonella. Hey, where'd my bobber go? Oh, it just floated way down over here. More salad. Nine watching. 15 likes. Yeah, Kenny, I'm at Guist Creek Lake bank fishing area outside of Shelbyville, Kentucky. I live in Indiana, but I seem to do most of my fishing in Kentucky. Primarily because the green tailwaters of Green River Lake is the closest place to me that I've got a shot at catching a musky or a walleye, either one, because they're both in there. Well, Hallie, I took your suggestion and I turned that other phone, I turned the Wi-Fi off on the other phone. And it's later in the day. I think there's fewer people on the cellular network. I think between being down over the bank, like I am, and right in the middle of the day when everybody was on their way home from work calling their wife to ask, or husband to ask, or significant other, whichever one it is, calling, asking them what they want for dinner. But Hallie, I think your suggestion was the best one. Hello, small water charters. Thanks for stopping by. Here comes a pretty nice bass boat. I think probably all you can see is the wake going across. That is a big one. Here comes that boat loaded, the John boat, and they got that boat completely full, man. There's some big old boys in that boat. Like I can talk. Here comes the wake from that big boat. But I mean, this is a no wake zone right through here, I think. Oh, I love the pith helmet. You get started wearing a pith helmet out in the sun, you won't wear any other. I guess you could go fishing without a cigar. I just don't know why you would want to. Switch those poles out. The shiner swum all the way down there. Lost my other line. There we go. It's floating down. It ought to be in a good spot. It's just right in front of the moss line. I'm about ready for a cup of coffee. I got a thermos in the car, but I didn't carry it down because it was 91 degrees, and I figured I'd better drink water instead of coffee. I think I will. I'll be right back. I'll go get a cup of coffee. I don't hate on the styrofoam cup. I don't like them. I don't like to use them. But my mother-in-law's in the hospital, so you take what you got, and I don't immediately throw them away. I try to use them. I think I've had this one for like a week. I'll keep reusing it to keep it out of the landfill till it gets crushed or something. Oh man, that coffee's tasting good. See, coffee and a cigar and fishing. That's like the perfect storm. But I want to try to get this live streaming dialed in. The hard part about having a fishing channel on YouTube is you got to compete with people that are way bigger channels than you, and also are a whole lot better video editors than me. But the live streaming completely eliminates their competitive advantage because there's no editing. There's not a lot of money in having a YouTube fishing channel when it's small. It took me 13 months to earn, once I got monetized, it took me 13 months to earn $106 to get my first paycheck. That was in January. I think I was averaging like $6 or $7 a month. Now I'm running along about $13 or $14 a month. But I'm not worried about the money because my channel's monetized, so I can write my mileage off and go fishing for free. See, every time I go to the tailwaters of Green River Reservoir and make a video, it's basically $100 off my taxes. 200-mile round trip, 62 cents a mile is $124. It cost me about 20 bucks in gas. $14 watching, 15 likes. This is a factory throwout number 99 natural. $1.85 a piece. Back in the day, I would smoke high dollar cigars, but semi-retirement is cut me back. This is basically the cheapest cigar I can stand to smoke. It seems like if I go any cheaper than that, they are gross. And there's like 8 or 10 different factory throwouts. There's like a 59, and I don't know what the other numbers are, but the rest of them, I've tried pretty much all of them, and this is the only one I can stand to smoke. I think the rest of them are pretty gross. My absolute favorite cigar is a Cuban. It's a Bolivar Petite Corona. They're just a little bitty cigar, but they smoke like a big cigar. Good, man, them things are good. I haven't had one of them in a long time. My absolute favorite domestic cigar is an Arturo Fuente Anejo number 77. It's the one they called a shark. They only bring them out in the fall around maybe Thanksgiving, in between Thanksgiving and Christmas. They only make a very limited number of them. Expensive, man, they're expensive. But I've kind of got an emotional attachment to that Arturo Fuente Anejo number 77. If you go into a cigar shop and say you want a shark, first off, they'll tell you they don't have any. If they do have any, you better sit down before you ask the price. But I kind of got an emotional attachment to them because one time I sold a really nice house and I had a pocket full of money. I bought a box of them. And I went and smoked my best friend since kindergarten. Me and him smoked the first two out of the box. I stuck them back in my humidor and really hung on to them and tried to make them last. And unfortunately, I smoked the last one out of the box after his funeral. The box of cigars lasted longer than he did. Made me pretty sad. Throw that shiner out there a little bit farther. Padrones, good sticks, but they are way out of my league anymore. Well, man, you get tangled up again. Bunch of salad. What in the world there getting that big old net? world record bird nest right here. I have outdone myself. Done it. Got it. I have a bushel basket full of salads if I was saving it. This stuff has a consistency about like felt. It ain't a bit slimy. Just like cotton or something. And we're back. Well, that one scared me. I think got me like a quarter stick of dynamite going off. I bet you can probably see the haze of smoke that firework let off. See that haze of smoke over there? I don't know if you could catch a fish with all that going on or not. But I'll guarantee you, my subdivision right now sounds like a war zone. This coffee is decent coffee. It's kind of a mediocre Colombian, not a great coffee. It's the Myers store brand Colombian. I have a friend that's retired. He's been roasting coffee since the 70s. He had a coffee shop in the 70s. Now he's got this little side hustle roasting coffee out of his garage. His coffee is good coffee. Really good coffee. He gets it from all over the world, and he does the whole cupping and tasting and test batches. Turn you around so you can see the fireworks show. They're actually kind of pretty up over the lake. But I doubt if it does much for the fishing. See if I, well, you can't see the moon very well. It's really pretty. It's a half moon. I want to figure out how to live stream after dark. That way I can go catfishing or night fishing walleye and bring you along with me. I'm getting close. But there's always some kind of technical difficulty that keeps me from making it happen. Like tonight, I brought all the stuff with me. I got a webcam that does infrared, and I got an infrared fill light. And see, I brought a laptop, and I got a car battery with an inverter. I'm getting really, really close to having it figured out. But I'm just not quite there. There's always something. Either the streaming software don't work, or like today, I didn't have enough cell phone Wi-Fi signal. It was all buffering and nasty. Got 10 people watching. Thank you very much. I'll spin you back over here in case they set off some more fireworks, because I don't think the fishing is going to do much. Hasn't all day. Nine people watching, 18 likes. Thank you very much for hitting that like button. Uh-oh. I Can't see my bobber. It's getting really dark, but this pole just tapped the line. We might have action here. I don't know. Let me spin you back around. Might be right here at dark. Something's going to happen. I'm not sure. There's my bobber. I see it over there now. Somebody's got music blaring somewhere. Hopefully it don't come over the microphone and get me demonetized. I don't know if they would give you a copyright strike when you're live for something that's off in the distance or not. Hopefully they wouldn't. There goes another big one. They're setting off some that sounds like a half stick of dynamite. No, haven't got a single bite. Been streaming 3 hours and 39 minutes. Well, 3 hours and 40 minutes exactly. But they started setting off them quarter stick of dynamite shortly after I started streaming. I don't know if you can catch a fish with all that stuff going on or not. fish might have all went to the other end of the lake. Can you guys hear that music? No, Kilroy, I mostly catch and release, so that's the only thing I keep is walleye. If I catch a keeper walleye, I'm eating that. Man, them fish are good. I'll occasionally keep a catfish, and a few times I go crappie fishing, I'll keep a crappie because they're like really tasty. But you get started fishing for musky, it kind of ruins you for all that stuff. It's probably getting just about too dark for you all to see. Kilroy, I'm at Guist Creek Lake in the bank fishing area outside of Shelbyville, Kentucky. I live in Indiana, but I do most of my fishing in Kentucky. I'm going to start going up northern Indiana outside of Monticello. There's a hydroelectric dam up there. I think it's on the Wabash River, but it may not be. There's two rivers that run pretty close to each other. One's the Wabash and one is something else. That's supposed to be a really good walleye spot, and it's also musky there. It's Oakdale Dam. I have like a 3-minute video on my channel of the first time I went up there. Just kind of an overview. But that's a 6-hour round trip, so I can't make that trip too often. If I go up early in the day to get a good fishing spot and then fish on up into the night, it'll get really sleepy driving home. The sky looks pretty. I'm looking at the screen. It looks pretty good. But it's about getting too dark for you all to see. I don't think I'll fish on up into the night tonight. Kind of intended to, but with all them fireworks, and I'm inclined to pack up and go home when it gets too dark for you to see. Get a little more coffee. This phone I'm streaming on actually has pretty good low light capabilities because it looks brighter on the phone than it does out here to the naked eye. This phone was my mama's phone. We lost her in October. She was 84. 84 is a pretty good run. I don't care who you are. Donald, thank you very much for sticking with me. I really enjoy live streaming and chatting with people, especially when the fish aren't biting. Happy 4th of July to you, Donald. I appreciate your input and your suggestions. All of you. I think I finished this cigar. I'm going to go home anyways. I've been told here that the creek channel ran across the other side of the lake. And in order to catch the bigger catfish, you got to cast way out over there. I have a 15-foot surf casting rod that I've never fished with. I bought it in case I got drugged to Florida, so I'd have something to fish with. I've been thinking about bringing it down here, because I could launch out there about halfway. I reel it in really fast so I don't gather near as much moss. That shiner's gone. So I guess when that pole was bopping earlier, something took the shiner. So I guess I did get a bite after all. Donald, thanks for subbing. I really appreciate that. Next live stream, I might actually catch a fish. But there's kind of, they call it the camera curse. I was watching an episode of Kentucky Afield, and a local anchor man that he's actually from Michigan too. His name's John Bowl. But he was an anchor man down here in Louisville for 20 some years. He retired and moved back to Michigan. But he was on an episode of Kentucky Afield, and him and the host, a guy named Chad Miles, they were both talking about how they had fishing shows, and like they couldn't get a bite when the camera was rolling, and as soon as the camera went off, they'd catch something. And it happened to me about 2 or 3 streams ago. The stream dropped, and while I was getting the stream back up, I caught a real nice catfish. And then once I got the stream going again, they quit biting. Okay, I'm going to shut her down. Thank you all very much.